And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Make sure you're stopping by to see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue. They're in the Dora district, so you can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. It's not a bad seat in the house. They have every sports package DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. A good place to sneak away for lunch on Tuesday as the Bearcats take on Oklahoma State at 12:30. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest Cincy Light around, but they do so in 32.8-degree frosted glasses. All right, Aaron, it's the last one of the regular season. I know you're upset. I know it's tough on you. Now we're going to have to actually start working to come up with topics for these shows, but I digress. The final day of Big 12 action was yesterday. We will go through all the scores, and then we will get you set with the Big 12 tournament bracket that will begin. Bearcats playing the first game, like I said, Tuesday at 12:30. So it could have, if they would have started it at 12, it wouldn't have been a problem. But starting at 12:30, that means the game ends at 2:30, which is when I have to pick up Kelsey from school. So I guess I will be watching the final 5 to 7 minutes on my phone, which probably not gonna matter. We'll have post-game coverage for you here, as always, on BCJ. You look very excited about the Big 12 tournament, Aaron. Do you speak? Like it's a show where we talk. You're just not
I
talking.
can't because I'm experiencing terrible technical difficulties over here on my end.
All right. I'll just start then, and you can chime in whenever you feel adequate. It looked like we might get the second Houston loss of the regular season, but it did not happen. Baylor falls short. Houston 65-61 wins another road game. They go perfect on the road. They lose one game at home in conference play. They are a machine. LJ Cryer, the man of the hour for the Cougs, he has 23, 12 for Milos Uzan, 11 for Sharp and Roberts. Baylor put up a heck of a fight, 23 for Edgecombe, 13 for Omier, 10 for Langston Love, but nobody else in double figures. And Houston does what Houston does, Aaron. They just wear you down, and then they end up with more points at the end of the game.
Omier had 13 and 16 in that one. And Juwan Roberts actually had 11 and 10. Baylor did what as best they could. It makes you wonder what would have happened had Ojinwuno been healthy. But that's a different story for a different day, I suppose. Houston finishes 16-1 on the year at home, 10-0 for the year away, and 1-3 neutral. So they only lost one game home or away, and the only other games they lost were all neutral site.
Which is maybe important to note since all the rest of their games will be neutral site.
Fair enough.
I don't know. There's something to, if you're wetting the beak a little bit, something to keep in mind. Maybe you're not betting against Houston to lose, but maybe the games will be closer than anticipated because they are at a neutral site. But Houston takes care of business. The machine rolls on. They go into the conference tournament as the number 1 seed. Texas Tech lays waste to Arizona State on the strength of this game was 36-32 at halftime. It finished 85-57. Texas Tech outscores Arizona State 49-25 in the second half. Yikes.
Still no Jaden Quaintance in this one for Arizona State. And you figure that probably had something to do with that second half score.
Yeah.
Little Bobby Hurley gets in this one though.
I saw that. 2 minutes. I think he got in their last game too.
I imagine for what, senior night, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly,
He's listed as a senior, so
yeah. JT Toppin, the star in this one, 25 and 11.
Texas Tech's good. We saw that throughout most of the season.
This is difficult.
Hooray. It is that.
How about this? I'll go over the games and the stats, and then I'll stop. And when I stop, you go. And then when you stop, I'll go to the next one. JT Toppin with 25 and 11 adds in 4 assists and 3 blocks. Kieran Walton with 11. And then off the bench, a guy that I just absolutely love. I don't know how you don't. Christian Anderson with 21. He goes 4 of 8 from 3, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, and just gives them a weapon off the bench that is very difficult to deal with. Jihad Bashir with 22 for Arizona State. Josan Sanin with 16. Alston Mason with 14. But most of that damage done in the first half. As we said, Texas Tech just cruises in the second half to wrap up the 2 seed for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Arizona State, they were playing from behind the 8 ball without their best player, Jaden Quaintance. And they're already not a very deep team as is. So you add that up, you got 6 guys who simply were not going to get it done against this Texas Tech team. Texas Tech's been firing on all cylinders for the most part of conference play. You finish 15 and 5. It's damn good in this conference.
Yeah. They have a great roster. I love their roster. Iowa State, number 10 in the country, but number 5 in the Big 12. We'll get to that in a little bit. They drill Kansas State 73-57. They get up 12 at the half, cruise to the comfortable 18-point win. Gassan with 19 and 7 for Kansas State. Doug McDaniel with 14. Coleman Hawkins had 4 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Rough day for him. Curtis Jones, back to his old ways, comes off the bench for 24 for the Cyclones, including 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Pretty impressive. Josh Jefferson gets 14. Deshaun Jackson gets 11. And Iowa State looks to be back on track. They wavered a little bit there in the middle. They did just, lose the game to BYU the other night in OT, but they closed with wins against Arizona, the loss to K-State, or the loss to BYU, and then a win against K-State. So at least a little bit of momentum for the Cyclones going into the Big 12 tournament, Aaron.
Yeah, Iowa State, I don't know that they're necessarily on track. They're winning. They won this game, but that's coming off after the loss against BYU. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the Big 12 tournament. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the actual tournament, because I don't know that I'm all in on Iowa State anymore. I think that I feel far differently now about them than I did probably midway through conference play.
Yeah. Oh, we thought for sure like Final Four contender. I don't think they're quite at that level anymore. But look, that BYU game was an incredible game. Like, I don't think you dock them points because BYU managed to get a close dub. But I mean, you beat Arizona, you play a great game with BYU, then you beat Kansas State. I'm not saying they're back on like Final Four contender status. I'm just saying they look a lot better than they did 2-3 weeks ago.
I'm not saying they're frauds, but they have not beat a ranked team in conference play since Kansas.
They just beat Arizona two games ago.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at their schedule. Okay, I missed the Arizona one. I did miss the Arizona one. But I was looking at Houston. You lost to Houston. You lost to Kansas back on February 3rd. You beat Kansas January 15th, and that was the last time you beat a ranked team, and then you beat Baylor when they were 25 back all the way back on January 4th. So I don't know. I think that they've been tested, and I don't know that they've necessarily passed the tests when they've been.
Yeah, I mean, they slid. They were number 2 in the conference for a long period of time, and they slid all the way to 5th. So I feel like they're playing better. Not that they're playing as good as they did in January, but better than they did maybe in the middle of February, where they look like But yeah, they'll be one to monitor. They've got an interesting spot in that Big 12 tournament, having to they lost a bye, so they'll be playing Wednesday and then trying to advance forward from there. BYU keeps it rolling 85-74 over Utah. Closer game than maybe you would have thought, but Utah beat them the first time at Utah, so they give them fits. But BYU able to get it done. Balanced attack. 5 guys in double figures. Dawson Baker, 16 minutes, 15 points, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He leads them in scoring. Richie Saunders has 14 and 5. Keba Keita with 12. Mahilo Boscovich with 11, and Igor Demin with 10, 7, and 6 for BYU. And for Utah, Miro Little with a big day has 21, 6 of 8 from 3. Ezra Asor with 12, Jake Wallen with 10, only 9 for Gabe Madsen, who was 3 of 14 from the floor. All 14 shots from 3. Aaron would have had an aneurysm if somebody went 3 of 14 with all of their shots coming from 3.
Probably. Yeah, this game, I don't know. BYU, they've been on fire, so I'm not surprised that they win this one. Trevin Nell, he goes 2 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 6 for his whopping 5 points. I can't wait to see this dude gone from Brigham Young forever. That's just me. That said, Utah was weird this year. I don't know. I don't expect them to do much in the tournament here, but they're still figuring it out, just like Cincinnati. So we'll see.
Yeah, 8 in a row for BYU to close out the season. That's how you finish strong, Aaron. As opposed to never mind. Kansas. Maybe Kansas is looking a little better. They played tight against Houston on Monday, and then they knock out Arizona 83-76 to close out senior day at the Fog. Hunter Dickinson with 33 and 10. He was 15 of 23 from the floor. He's icing that arm today. 20 for Zeke Mayo, 12 for KJ Adams with 12 and 8. Those are all of your double-digit scores for Kansas. For Arizona, Jaden Bradley had 21. Caleb Love with 16. Trey Townsend with 13. He hit 3 threes. And then Toby Awaka with 10 as Arizona falls to 20 and 11, 14-6 in the conference. Kansas also 20 and 11, but 11 and 9 in Big 12 play. They are another of those teams that will be playing, maybe a little surprisingly, on Wednesday in the Big 12 tournament.
Zeke Mayo, he's not been up to snuff. He would probably tell you that himself over the course of the last couple of games. He finishes 5 of 9 from the floor for that 20 points, 5 of 7 from 3, and the rest are all free throws, 5 of 6. I just thought that was an efficient day for him to get to 20 on 5 made field goals.
Yeah. Maybe the sleeper in the Big 12 tournament, Aaron. Colorado gets their third Big 12 win, 76-56 over TCU. Julian Hammond was back for Colorado. He had missed quite a few games in a row. He gets 19. RJ Smith with 12, and Bengat Dak, who was not in the starting lineup, I guess probably a senior day thing, but he gets 10. For TCU, 21 for Trezarian White and Noah Reynolds with 12. Nobody else in double figures. I still, Aaron, have no idea how that TCU team won 9 games in conference. They're not good.
I don't understand TCU. Colorado, congrats on your third win. You did it. I'm happy for them because it's been a rough season for the Buffaloes.
Yeah. And apparently Tad Boyle, there were rumors out there that he might retire. Apparently he is coming back. So he will get a chance to right the ship at Colorado in their second year in the Big 12. I think he's a really, really good coach.
Redemption.
So, yeah. And then finally, West Virginia desperately needed this one, and they get it. They get out big early. UCF mounts a comeback, but it's not enough. West Virginia 72, UCF 65. That one was 47-25 at half. And then UCF outscored West Virginia 40-25 in the second half. So, Darius Johnson with 27 for UCF, Mustafa Thiem with 13, and JJ Taylor with 12. For West Virginia, Javon Small with 25, Jonathan Powell with 15, Amani Hansberry with 18, and 10 for the Mountaineers, who I don't think they were at risk of missing the tournament, but they were limping to the finish line. So good for them to pick up the dub.
Yeah, maybe Keyshawn Hall's worst game of the season. As he goes 36 minutes, finishes 1 of 10, and 6 points. That was a dreadful day for Keyshawn Hall. That said, West Virginia, look, say what you want about West Virginia, but they have won games when they needed to win games, and that's something that, unfortunately, we did not have the luxury of watching our team do throughout this season.
Yeah.
So
when their backs were against
Small,
the wall, they got it done.
You thought Javon Small might have been just tired a couple weeks ago, and he comes out and finishes the season strong, 25 in this one. So getting his cast of characters to play behind him. So they figured it out when they needed to, and I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if West Virginia sneaks into the Sweet 16. Truthfully,
the one thing that's been big for them, Aaron, is Hansberry has stepped up to be that guy next to Small. Mm-hmm. Like he has had a string of games where he's been really good. So that takes a little bit of that stress where the defense I think he was tired, and defense was just saying, if we stop Small, they can't win. And now Hansberry's giving you like 15, 16 pretty regularly, and now that eases the tension a little bit and gives them another guy. Darren DeVries, great job with West Virginia this year. Let's see.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here is the bracket for the Big 12. Boy, you can't really see that at all, can you?
Nope.
We'll just read it. We'll talk you through it. Tuesday, starting at 12:30, you get Cincinnati and Oklahoma State. That path will continue with Iowa State as the 5 and BYU as the 4. The 2:00 game on Tuesday is Colorado and TCU. Aaron, I'm going Colorado again.
Oh,
I go Colorado back-to-back over TCU.
Double dipping.
I just don't like TCU's roster. Those two teams, the winner will face number 8 West Virginia on Wednesday. and then the inevitable loss for one of those three to Houston on Thursday at 2 o'clock. And then the night bracket, Arizona State and Kansas State at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock, or excuse me, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern for that first game of the night. The winner of that one moves on to play Baylor, and then number 2, Texas Tech, awaiting in the quarterfinals. And then finally, UCF and Utah, that 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern game on Tuesday. Winner goes on to play Kansas and then Arizona on Thursday for a chance to get into the semis. If it was, I just don't think Utah or UCF can beat Kansas. But man, like I think Cincinnati could. I wouldn't like Oklahoma State probably could. Kansas State could. We'll see if Kansas actually is back to life after the close loss at Houston and then the win over Arizona. So there is your Big 12 tournament bracket. We'll be here after the games. We'll figure out timing and how that all works with Aaron's going to have little ones up and down and up and down. I'm sure you're going to be like, hey, kids, it's 12:30. Daddy needs to watch Basketball Girls. I'm sure they're going to be like, okay, Daddy, let's watch basketball.
Well, I can watch on the tablet.
Yeah.
I can watch on the tablet. It'll be fine. But the big thing is going to be trying to get them both to sleep at the same time to do a show.
You're going to have one on your lap, like rocking on your lap while we're talking, aren't you? I think we lost Aaron. Anywho.
My internet.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. That is the final Big 12 regular season rewind of the year. We'll be back throughout the week to break down the tournament. We'll see you next time. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.